What's up, everybody? Jim and Joshua here with a Rewind Theater on Marvel's Jessica Jones, our first full trailer for the upcoming Netflix series coming this winter. Had a couple of cool little TV spots, little teasers, but
Yeah, set the tone.
yeah.
But now we have the first full teaser, first full trailer, and the first shot is of Alias Investigations. Jessica Jones, for those who don't know, is a former superhero who now is a PI, making her way just like solving like more mundane crimes. And in a great homage to the comic book, this next shot is like the first page of the comic book. This guy, she caught him cheating on his wife, and he wasn't happy about it. Comes to see her, she throws him through the door.
Yeah, I love too that it's the old tropes of private eyes taking photos and very Chinatown kind of thing.
And this is our first look at Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones, the titular character.
You guys would know her maybe from Breaking Bad. And then I have a little theory here that she's trading love for drinks, but that's just the theory.
That's what she sort of implies. She's a bit of a drinker, as we'll see more here. And here's Luke Cage.
Mike Coulter, who you guys might know from Halo Nightfall, the recent live-action take on it.
Luke Cage is another popular superhero. He's also getting his own Netflix series later on, and he has like invulnerable skin and super strength. And she has some powers too. She has kind of toned down, very like low super strength. Like he's like, can you lift up a car? She's like a slow moving one.
Yeah.
She has like
I think Dwayne Johnson could probably do that too.
Yeah, I would not be surprised. And she has limited flight. We see her do that as well. She kind of takes off, and she's also. Like we said earlier, a bit of a drinker.
Yeah.
She has a lot of vices in the comic book. She smokes. She curses a lot. She was the first Marvel superhero to curse as part of Marvel's Max line, their more adult theme line.
Well, I can almost guarantee you she won't be smoking on a TV series.
Yeah,
you can do everything else but smoke.
Yeah, and they're not going to do any cursing either, I don't think.
Although it is
she's
Netflix, you can swear.
I know they can, but I think Marvel specifically said that she's not going to curse. I think that's where they draw the line. We'll see, though. They might slip something in. She's in the bedroom here. She's a bit of a more promiscuous superhero. She's dated some heroes in the comic books. Obviously, Luke Cage. She also dated Scott Lang, Ant-Man. I doubt Paul Rudd's going to show up, but they might.
That would be funny.
They might work in some other stuff.
This is interesting.
Yeah.
Our first kind of glimpse at the Purple Man, David Tennant, Kilgrave. And I love that the purple lighting and everything for this.
Yeah. So he is not purple. In the comics, it is literally a man with purple skin.
Yeah, and purple clothing.
Yes, but in the show, it looks like they're just going to use that purple lighting whenever they have him show up. And his deal is that he can control your mind and tell you what to do, and it's very strong. And so here now we're going to get to, I guess you could call this spoiler territory. Well, just so you know, in the comic books, it's not till much into the comic book to where you find out her connection with Purple Man and exactly what he did to her. But in the show, it's right from the get-go.
Okay.
Like the pilot has been screened at New York Comic Con. We know that right from the beginning, we get all this information. So it's not too big of a spoiler. We're just kind of talking about some things we know from the first episode.
I love it. It's kind of like a horror thing of just like almost like demonic possession or being haunted kind of thing.
Yeah. So even though she was in his thrall like before the show takes place, she's still haunted by it, and he's still sort of like in her head. And this is the result of that. She just kind of lashes out when she gets that sort of flash in her head, and she breaks the window. People are looking at her like she's crazy.
Lucky that she actually has something on her elbow. A little extra pad. See on the sleeve?
Oh, it's so she doesn't shatter or hurt her elbow.
Yeah.
She's got limited durability. Well, we'll see later that she does get cut up a little bit. And while under his thrall, we know that she did some things that she's not very proud of, we'll say.
We've all had relationships like that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, really? Where they take over your mind and do horrible things to you?
Yeah, actually.
In the comic book, it was like he made her want to like be with him and worship him and want to have like a sexual relationship with him, even though he never actually made her do anything. But it looks like just, I guess, for dramatic tension, they are adding, looks like she's like
She's
digging a
yeah.
hole for like a body or something. Her hands
Or
are
is
covered
she
in
searching
blood.
for something, but yeah, it's definitely, and her sleeves there are a little purpley gray, sort of matching the color scheme of what he's wearing. We'll see him in
Yeah.
a little bit.
So she didn't kill anybody in the comics, but I think this is just an extra like visual flair because that's someone made you do something like this. That's
Yeah,
in addition to all the other stuff. That's pretty
yeah,
sick.
that would explain all the drinking.
And this looks like the Purple Man here. It looks like he's just killed somebody. So maybe this is the body she's burying,
Yeah.
perhapsably.
Now, Rachel Taylor, you folks might recognize her from the first Transformers movie, but she plays Trish Walker, formerly Patsy Walker, aka Hellcat from the Marvel Comics, who I have to point out, I'm a little bummed that she doesn't have red hair,
You
like
are
the
a stickler
Hellcat
for
from.
the hair. I'll give
I'm
that to you.
telling you, man, they got to look like the comics.
Uh-huh. And in the comic books, Jessica Jones, like her best friend was Carol Danvers, but she's Captain Marvel,
Oh, well, maybe
and
that's why she's got the blonde hair and
maybe
wearing red, kind of like
best
Captain
of
Marvel.
both. But yeah, clearly, we know Captain Marvel's getting her own movie. Marvel has other plans for her, so she wasn't going to be a supporting character in the Jessica Jones Netflix series.
Right.
But it looks like Hellcat will be fulfilling that role. We don't know if she's going to actually become Hellcat,
Yeah.
but we do know that this character, she's like a former model and a like award-winning journalist, and her like face is plastered all over town. Like she is sort of, even if she's not a superhero, she's a very like popular
Yeah, I can
public
see that.
figure
It's good
who could not be
casting.
more polar opposite to Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
Um, and then we get our first look at in the purple suit, the Purple Man here,
Right.
working his magic, sort of vampire magic.
Yeah, yeah, it does. It has this sort of Dracula kind of vampire kind of possession of your mind. Like, even the idea that, a vampire has to ask permission to be let
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
into a place. So I do like that. And I like the pause that it's not an immediate reaction from the guy.
Yeah, you can sort of almost feel him getting into this guy's head.
Yeah.
And then these next shots, who do you think this little girl
Okay,
is?
I'm of the opinion that this is little Jessica Jones, that this is a flashback or a prologue of something, and there does look like there's another kid in the closet. You see shoes and a bit of a hand there, but maybe it's this guy's kids, maybe it's not Jessica Jones. I just think it's curious you put a shot like this in the trailer with a young girl that looks so much like Kristen Ritter, but
Uh-huh.
maybe it's simply just.
And maybe it's just showing that he's so sick that he would go after kids to get what he wants
yeah.
or something. And here's they're keeping him in shadow and in the background in all these shots. But here's a
David
shot
Tennant
of
from Doctor Who.
yeah, the doctor's here. These kids are gonna go on an adventure, Jim.
Are you a Time Lord? Not this time. Erin Moriarty here as Hope. Ironic name for somebody shackled in an interrogation room of a jail. So
Yeah, and what we
or
know
a mental institution.
yeah,
I'm
I
not
think
sure.
this is a jail, and what we know about her is that she was also under the thrall of the Purple Man, and he had taken control of her and made her do horrible things. Probably how she wound up here in
Yeah.
prison. And when she meets Jessica Jones, they sort of connect over that they were both like victims of his. And looks like it's another flashback. Again, that purple hue to show
Yeah.
that it's him using his power on her. She's all
cleans
dolled
up well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very different from what we've seen of her. Probably because he made her dress this way. Those big earrings, the
It makes you
dress.
wonder, like, is he using her to go seduce somebody that he wants information from to kill, or what's up?
In the comics, it was always just that he enjoyed having this complete and utter control over another person, and it's very sick, very very nasty villain. He's not like Doctor Doom, right? Where he's like got all these. He's not
Destroyed
a dictator.
New York
yeah,
and-
and everything. He
yeah.
just wants to like make people like
I
suffer.
think that makes him even worse
yeah,
because
a lot of
he's-
the in the way
because
it is.
that's it's a more sociopathic thing that I think people who've ever been in bad situations
Yeah.
or with bad people could relate to in a small degree.
Yeah, it's very the trailer unnerves me. It's very like disgusting.
It's really good trailer. It feels like a horror movie.
Yeah.
And then what I like about this is, a private eye. Part of their livelihood is taking photos of people. Surveillance. People don't know they're being photographed, and now she's kind of getting a taste of her own medicine.
Yeah, someone's watching her, and we'll get some other shots of that in a little bit.
This is disturbing. This
yeah.
is Hope with a gun to her face there and or to her chin, and this neck sequence. This was unnerving to watch. Just all the police kind of, It's kind of remind me a little bit of Magneto and X-Men
Oh yeah,
2.
yeah. But
But
this is almost again like worse in a way because
oh
he's
god,
in
yeah.
these people's heads. He can get in the head of an entire police force and make them put their guns to their
And you're
heads.
already believing from the trailer that he would make them all pull the trigger too,
Oh yeah, and
as we'll see
it
coming up.
is yeah. It's how do you arrest a guy like that? I don't know.
And now, that's David Tennant as far as I can see. It's
Yeah,
a
it's a little
blurry
blurry. It looks
shot,
like
but
him though.
yeah.
Again, him sort of in the shadows, like kind of haunting her, even though he might not be there physically. He's in her
Are you
head.
disappointed that he's not actually purple skinned?
At first I was like, man, come on, where's the skin? But again, when you make a Netflix series out of something in a more realistic world,
I think it works.
it makes sense. Yeah, but they are doing the purple suit and the purple, lighting and stuff, so
Right.
they're kind of getting it in there.
That is a big Prince fan. Now,
There's a big explosion, and then they have this guy. We're not sure if this is David Tennant or possibly a character Nuke, who we'll get a better look
yeah,
at
I think
in a
it's that
second.
guy because it looks like, yes, his hair's backlit, but it looks blonde. To me.
Yeah, probably
And
Nuke.
we're going to see a guy
We'll go
coming
forward
up.
and look at that in a second.
This is really disturbing, just the fact that he can make people just kill themselves.
Yeah, his sadistic
I wonder,
streak knows no
is
bounds.
this maybe Luke Cage's bar? Do you think?
It is a bar, so
Yeah.
anything could be happening. It looks like after
These could-
hours. Yeah, like
this could be
oof.
some of his personnel or clients. I
Yeah.
mean, or customers, clients.
This is her just shoving a dude in like an elevator so hard that he flies up against the roof.
It's just badass. That's why we wanted to show you that.
Yep, yep.
CarrieAnne Moss
From The
folks.
Matrix.
The Matrix. And now her character, this is interesting. They switched it up a bit.
Yeah, her character is named. I think it's Jaren Hogarth, and I believe they're calling her Jerry in this.
Yeah.
And normally her character was a male character, so they gender swapped it, and now she is
She's
a lawyer for Danny Rand, who's like Iron Fist.
Yeah.
And so she's in Iron Fist is also getting his own Netflix series, so it's like she is a piece of connective tissue. We'll see her
Yeah.
here in Jessica Jones. We're assuming we're going to see her in Iron Fist.
I don't
so she's
know
like laying the
her,
groundwork.
the character from the comics. Is it a good guy, bad guy?
He's a good guy.
Okay,
yeah, and
cool,
he
cool.
eventually becomes the lawyer for Heroes for Hire, which is the team up
Oh,
group with Luke
I
Cage
remember them well.
and
I
Iron
read that
Fist
as a kid.
So she probably has a good. She probably have a big role in these
Yeah,
Netflix
she
series.
could be like M and James Bond.
Oh yeah, like sort of like pulling all the strings
Gives them
and
the
stuff.
missions.
Yeah. And this is Nuke, who we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, now Nuke, I remember him from the comics. He was basically sort of like a Rambo type who would pop pills, and he had like a American flag painted on his face. I hope
Yes.
it gets to that point.
He was a disturbing psychopath. And this is Will Trevall. And he said he actually told us, he told IGN in an interview that he's playing a character with the last name Simpson. IMDb credits him as Will Simpson. In the comic, Nuke is Frank Simpson. So he either is Nuke or someone related to Nuke.
Yeah.
Either way, he's here with a gun, and looks like he was blowing something up earlier. So he's
Yeah.
probably going to be one of the other like kind of
And
sub-villains.
considering they had to change the name of Hellcat too, maybe there's another reason for a name change, and
Yep.
he is Nuke.
Sometimes we'll never know some of these things.
Now here, clearly, she's been bitten by a snake, and he's getting the venom out. So there's nothing
Yes,
else really
he's
to
saving
add to
her
this
life.
thing. I mean, I never get bit by a snake while a man is trying to shave. That's all I'm saying. People.
Jim, I'm gonna have to explain to you what's going on here after we're done. But
Okay.
for
It's how
when a
babies
man and
are
a woman, no, well, they have a big romance in the comic books. They even up having a kid like years later.
Yeah.
So it looks like we're gonna see the sparks fly
I
between
thought
these
you were
two.
going to say, I think we're going to see the conception of the show. It is Netflix. Anything is
in
possible.
full detail. And this looks, if you look at the date in the upper left-hand corner here, it's
Halloween, 1985.
Yep. So we're assuming this is a young purple man, young Kilgrave. The device is hooked up to his head, like they're monitoring brain activity.
He looks
can
like Shia
control
LaBeouf.
people's. What?
He looks like little Shia LaBeouf.
Don't say that. Don't wish that on anybody. But yeah, this looks like sort of maybe we'll get a little origin story for
Yeah,
maybe he started
testing out.
controlling people at a very young age. This guy is
Ika Darville.
He used to be a Power Ranger in one of the Power
Wow.
Rangers movies. This is Malcolm from the comic books. Very small role. He was kind of like an obsessed fan in the comic books who would kind of like bother her. In the show, completely different role, same name, who's still her neighbor, but he's like a very lovable junkie.
Yeah, you'll see
Like-
he's handcuffed to a pipe or
Yeah.
something.
He like
So.
walks into her apartment and starts like eating her food. And she's like, "Who are you?" And he's like so messed up on drugs, but he's very charming as well about it. So I'm assuming she like, you know, restrains
Stop
him till
stealing
she
my
can.
food. Yeah,
Yeah.
sober up.
I'm gonna handcuff you because you stole my sandwich. Um,
Now, you mentioned earlier that she is not, invulnerable. So we see here that she can indeed be hurt badly.
yes.
And
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, people, don't like Superman because he can never be hurt, but she does have the strength and some durability and the flight and everything. But yeah, she still gets scuffed up when she gets into a fight.
so we know how she answers the question, "Do you bleed?"
Just a little on my arm there. Um,
Now we're thinking, we have a theory here that this isn't her apartment, that she maybe follows some clues and finds that she is being watched.
oh,
Now the
I
PI
have a
being
mural of
watched.
my own face in my apartment.
I believe that. I actually, but it kind of, to me, and again, maybe my color vision is off here, but the lighting looks a little
It
purpley
looks a
there.
little purple, yeah. So I guess the guess is that this is Purple Man's little hideout where he's been watching her from afar. Really, really creepy. And I feel like he knew she was gonna find this because it looks,
You're right.
see you later. That's also very, very
They
creepy.
always have great penmanship, the bad guys.
And that's it, guys. That was the very creepy, unsettling, awesome-looking Jessica Jones trailer.
Yeah, let us know what you think, and for all things Marvel, keep it here on IGN.